yes, it's the old git here again, Mike Hall, or aka the old git. Today, I'm going to be giving you some facts and some figures in regard to what's happening in the UK. Now, I'm sort of going to entitle this particular video Vote or Lose Your Country. Now, there's loads of people coming on the scene now and all applying for the same vote. But let's go through some figures and see where we're at and see if you're actually going to lose your country. I have a big feeling that possibly you might be. Now, based on reports from the Muslim Council of Britain from 2025 census analysis, the Muslim population of the UK is approximately about 4 million, representing about 6% of the total population. And this indicates a continued growth in the community, with over half British Muslims being born and constituting the fastest growing religious group in the country. So that being so, my mouse has stopped working. I hate this. I hate it so much. Anyway, that being so, these figures here, which I'm going to show you, are from the Muslim Council of Britain. Now, I've got slightly different figures. So if you look at them, it's saying there that Muslims more born in the UK about 47.2%, so nearly 50%, which is what I've got here from another government. So what mine says, the population size, around 4 million Muslims live in the UK, making up 6% of the population, which is what we just said. The demographic is the community is young, with a median age of 29 compared to the national average age of 44. And for the first time, over 50% of British Muslims are born in the UK. Now, it says here that 47.2% Muslims on the British, the Muslim Council of Britain figures. But they say parliamentary constituencies have Muslims population of, there's 26 Muslim constituencies that have over or more than 20% of the population in that particular ward. 260,000 Muslims married households with dependent children. Over 77,000 Muslims lone parents, families with dependent children too. And over 135,000 one-person Muslim households. So those are their figures. And there's sort of the regional thing as well, which is regional concentrations. High numbers of UK-born Muslims reside in northern cities like Bradford, about 65% there, Walsall, 61%, Oldham, 59%, and there's others, but we won't go there. Now, moving on, and you'll see why I'm telling you these figures in a minute, okay? Muslim families. Now, the demographic shift, approximately 10% of children in the UK are estimated to be Muslim, indicating a shifting religious landscape, because more children you have, or more that the Muslims have, then the more lean towards the Islamic religion. In 2025, Muslim employment in the UK faces persistent challenges, shall we say, with the reports indicating that a disproportionately high employment rate, 12.8%, roughly double the national average, and high economic inactivity, particularly among women. Unemployment, and the inactivity. The unemployment rate for Muslims is, as I said, 12.8%, and 41% are economically inactive, with 65% of those being women. So obviously lots of women don't work, and also a high percentage of Muslim men also either don't work or they're claiming in-work benefits of some kind. Okay, so let's move on now. Now you've got the picture. I'll give you the idea of the sort of situation with Muslims, how many are here, how many vote, that kind of thing. So let's go on to this little graph which I've put up here for you now. If you see, this is was done in 2024. The figures, number of parliamentary and local government entries in Great Britain, that's how many people entered to vote. And as you see, in the parliamentary entries, it's about 46 million. I've got a figure which is slightly different, which says it's around about 50 million. Well, I mean, it's not too much in the difference, is there? So out of this 46 million, the turnout to 24, as I say, election was about 59.7% actually turned out to vote, which was the lowest of a general election since 2001. The turnout was 7.6 percentage points lower than 2019, since between 1997 and 2001. It's the lowest. So you have to understand now why the Muslim vote becomes so crucial to the Labour Party, who historically got it. They got the vote. If you look at that, it's around about, I think, about 3 million votes that usually go that way. And on a low turnout, that makes a lot of difference. Now, what it is now, because the Labour Party have fallen out of grace with Muslims, and they're now seeking to get involved in politics, but what they're doing is infiltrating, shall we say. And now the Green Party, which is terrible because they dangerously mainstreaming sectarian Muslim politics, and it's a very dangerous thing for the country. Pandering to a radical Islamist ideology and thinking they are being righteous. The radical Islamist Muslims will lie, cheat and manipulate these lame-brained idiots, and infiltrate the party like an injection of poison into their veins. And what that means basically is by the Green Party, who are complete dummies. I'm coming to the Green Party wasn't always like that. But these people who are now in charge or run it, it's not the Green Party anymore. And if you look basically at the typical the typical Green Party member, many of the members of the Green Party are traditionally from what I would call the fringe society. Make of it what you will. The trans people, the woke, the confused, the mentally unstable, etc. You get the picture. They're not not the full shilling, most of them, and they seem to accept what's happening, or thinking that, oh, the Green Party are getting really popular. Look, we get all these votes, we're going to get some seats, we're going to get in power. Well, they don't realise that they're being taken over. They're being fed this ideology. Well, they're not being fed the ideology. It's like we're Muslims and we haven't got the right representation, blah, 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 blah. I mean, if you look at the deputy leader, Mohsin Ali, which is in this picture, actually, he's the man standing in the middle there. You know, he stood at council office on a ticket of Free Palestine. I mean, wouldn't you think that any political party should have, first and foremost, have what happens in their country should be tops. That should be what we were all working towards, to improve your country, not to start talking about what's going on in other countries. And so they have some very funny supporters. I mean, like I said, the Green Party will soon become the Green Islamic Party, and the 3 million votes that in the mainstream went to Labour will probably go to them, and would probably go to the Greens, plus a significant amount of left-wing voters would probably follow suit. So now we're looking at a dangerous situation. We're looking at left-wingers, ultra-left-wingers, and we're also looking at green, stupid people forcing or getting the vote, not oblivious to the fact that they're being taken over as a party, because once they get in, they will actually take over the party, and I believe this. So, moving on a little bit there, we look at the monster, the shambles. This could, at the very least, by what happened by voting these idiots into Parliament, or getting them close in, or making a hung Parliament, or making it one of the major parties in a new government, this could, at the very least, force the Parliament with no majority. Just imagine the shambles the country would be in if that was to happen. And it happened that Labour got in on the lowest vote in 2024 because you were too lazy to go out and vote. You were actually too lazy to go out and vote. That's the problem. So, every day, and this is true, every day, I listen to people phoning into talk shows, being angry, spouting, "This government must go," all that kind of stuff they're shouting. And I agree. But judging by the turnout from the last election, how many of you would get off your backside and vote? Because this time, there's no turning back. And if these radicals get in, or one party, a decent party, don't get into power, and I'm biased anyway. I mean, I do say that Nigel Farage knows exactly what's going on. He's been lambasted from all sides now. They're attacking him every which way. He walked out of Parliament with all his MPs the other day because basically it's pointless sitting in a Parliament where the Prime Minister never answers a question anyway, and they're all afraid of him. And they've got the things that are going out on social media, as usual. The lefties in there. Let's see, Nigel Farage is this. He's done this. He's done that. He's backpedaling. He's blah 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 blah. We get all that. But believe me, that's for me. But my personal view is that he would, and his party would do very well with the country because they listen to what people say. Anyway, and apart from this, you also get the other ones as well, don't you? The ones I've just been talking about, the keyboard warriors, too lazy to move but pretty vocal. But would they go and vote? And these are the ones I'm talking about who go out and start to, or go on the internet and start talking absolute rubbish about one thing or the other, and don't actually use their vote. Probably sit in a darkened room in their mother's house, unmarried, and playing video games all day. And that's not just young people, that's some of the older ones as well. So, it's crucial, absolutely crucial, that you go out and you vote, because if you don't, the country is 90% already in the doldrums. And if things continue the way they are, and the infiltration carries on the way it is, there won't be Britain. There certainly won't be a Great Britain. There'll just be divisions, secular areas where people of one faith will rule, and where the British people will not be very happy to go and visit. And it's not good. It's not good. But do you trust politicians? That's the thing, is it? I mean, can you trust politicians? Well, I don't know. I mean, the country is run by clowns at the moment. Totally run by clowns. So, here's the big question. Do you really want your country back? The reason I've just told you about that is only one aspect. There's other aspects as well. But this is a big threat. And do you want your country back? Or could you care less, if so, to be ready to be taken over? And don't complain. When gay people are being thrown off buildings, transgenders are being killed, non-believers being killed and forced to pay blood money to stay alive, open season on child rape, no alcohol, no pork, no music, only Islamic music, no dancing, all you women in burqas and more. Sound like an advert for it, but that's exactly what would happen. Because if you do care, then the power is in your hands. It means going to a polling station and put your cross to make a difference. We all need to make Britain again, or make Britain again and the alternative is, as I say, down to you. I've just given you some facts and some figures. And those 3 million votes will go basically, I think, towards the Green Party, who've got as much idea of running a country. They couldn't run a bath. Zach Polanski only wants fame. The man's failed at acting. He's failed at singing. He's been a hypnotherapist and failed at growing women's breasts. He is hungry for fame. So he is actually trying politics, which is not for him because he hasn't got a clue. Legalizing all drugs, getting on a plane, flying to Russia and shaking hands with Vladimir Putin and saying, well, can you stop fighting now? The man's an idiot. And the lady that got voted in not long ago, again, one shilling short of a pound for his arm. That's an old saying, isn't it? She just isn't the material. A lady plumber. So, as I said, if you want the country where gay people are being thrown off buildings, transgenders killed, non-believers killed or forced to pay blood money to stay alive, open season on child rape, no alcohol, no pork, no music, only Islamic music, I don't know what that is, and no dancing, women in burqas and much, much more. Now, I must make a couple of points before you all start telling me that I'm racist and against Muslims. I must tell you a couple of points, and these are important, okay? And it's like, it goes a little bit like this. Not all Muslims are radical. In fact, my favourite Muslim at the time, right now, is Zia Yusuf. I think he's brilliant. True patriot, you know? But not all Muslims are radical, but all Muslims live under the threat of the Islamists. They've infiltrated the mosques and the communities because they're close-knit communities. And they've infiltrated. Just as, the threat of Islamists is just, they hate it just as much as we do. And many, they won't speak out because they know what would happen to them. It's a completely different way of thinking. They are afraid of the Islamists just as much as we are. Many Muslims came in the 60s and the 70s just to make a good life, and they've done so. Many, many have been successful. Many have done very well. But there's those that are getting tainted, converted into radicals, especially the young people. I was 72 when I was young. I suppose I could have been a bit radical, ban the bomb and all that kind of crap. But you grow up. These kids won't grow up if things carry on because it's going too far. So please don't tar all Muslims with the same brush. A lot of Muslims would very much like to get on with their lives, fit into society and follow their religion, just as they do in many countries in Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, everywhere. It's so much, they've progressed. They wouldn't have these radicals like the Muslim Brotherhood and others in the country Why have Britain got them? Why has Europe got them? We don't need them. Keep the good ones and send the bad ones wherever you go. Send them anywhere, but just take them out. And it's up to the British government to do that, whoever comes in next, if they ever get the chance to have another election, if they have the chance to even the right government getting in. And also, yes, I've just slapped the backside of the Green Party. And it's true, the Greens were totally something else and were respected in many ways because even not successful in gaining too many seats in Parliament, they raised issues which were meaningful in many ways. And that's all gone by the board now. Nobody's interested in all that. They're only interested in stupidity. From as far as I'm concerned, it all has to stop. And I will continue with these videos until I'm blue in the face. I'm almost there already. You people, please, you must vote. I mean, there's votes coming up in local elections. Again, Reform have done very well so far in winning lots of local elections. Yes, there's been a few problems. Hey, what do you expect? They're coming from nothing to something. Okay? People like Dan and Grimes up in Durham Way, doing very well. Stands no truck. Also, I think one of the Reform councils in Kent has refused to take any more migrants off the boats. So they have, by gaining these local elections are very important. Get rid of Labour. Get rid of Ed Davies. He's the biggest clown. In fact, he would fit in very well with the Greens as they stand now. The man's a fool. He never answered to anything that happened in the post office scandal, but he plays the holier-than-thou card all the time. I think you get the point. I think you'll understand. It's down to you. If you're too lazy to help your country to be what it was before, to bring it back to being Britain, it's not about making Britain great again. I mean, Donald Trump uses that, make America great. Make Britain. We need all to make Britain again as it was, culture-wise. You know, we need to get back to how it was. Have some dignity. Instead, I believe that we look like complete fools around the world. And the biggest fool is the man running the country at the moment. And you all know who that is, of course, Keir Starmer, the liar. He's worse than Pinocchio. And David Lammy, and talk about scandal. There's been so much scandal that law and order. He uses lawfare to get out of problems. Anyway, don't get on that subject, because the subject today is vote, vote, vote. If you don't vote, you may as well get on a boat. How's that? A bit of poetry. Okay, that's the old git. That's it for today. Hopefully, you'll listen to what I said and it makes sense to you. And if it does, please give me a follow or whatever it is. Let me know that you're listening. Although I am celebrating on Rumble over 500,000 people have watched my videos, and I'm so proud. So I must be doing something right. So you can go and watch my videos on Rumble or on YouTube or in Kick or something like that, whatever. But I want you all to go to Rumble, because Rumble's been very good, and I think we're getting near 600,000 views now. I do it all myself. I'm an old man, but I could see my country, where I was born, going down the tubes rapidly. You know, spiraling down and 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 disappearing up its own orifice. That's what's happening to Britain. Okay, so please, there's my socials. If you go to X, best before tea, or you can go to what's the email, bestbeforetv@gmail.com. You can leave comments on Rumble. I wish you would, and hopefully very soon we'll see Britain back on its feet and be able to hold its head up again like it did before. So that's it. You'll get us out of here until the next time. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and hopefully I'll speak to you very, very soon.